Good morning, everyone. My name is Vedant Shete. I'm from class 11 and I'm studying in ADCI. So today's topic is active and passive voice. We'll study about active and passive voice, actually what it is. So first of all, we will see the contents of presentation, explaining active and passive voice, how to convert sentences between active and passive voice, when to use which and why. Next we have sentences structure. As we know, sentences are formed by subject, verb and object. So we have an example. The police arrested the robbers. Here, as we know, the subject is the police. Arrested is the verb. The robbers is the object. Here we have a verb is an action. The performer of that action is called the subject, and one on whom that the action is performed is called the object. Next, we'll study about what is active voice. Millions of viewers watch the World Cup. Here, millions of viewers is the subject, watched is the verb, and the World Cup is the object. Now we'll see passive voice. The World Cup was watched by millions of viewers. Here, the sentence is little bit twisted. So, the World Cup is the object, watched is the verb. Verb will do not change. Millions of viewers is the subject. Now we'll see how to change active voice to passive voice. First, position of the object and the object are switched. As we seen in the see in the example, how the position was changed. The World Cup was the millions of viewers was shifted at the end, and the World Cup was taken at the front. So the position of the subject and the object are switched. Second, auxiliary verbs and preposition are added where necessary. The verb is converted to its third form. The verb is converted into third form. Next, we have active voice. The storm caused the delay of the flight. Now, the storm here is the subject. Caused is the verb. The delay of the flight is the object. Now, in passive voice, the delay of the flight was caused by the storm. Now, the delay of the flight here is the object. Caused was the main verb. By is the preposition we add. The storm is the subject. As you can see, how the sentences are changed from active to passive voice. Now, there are some sentences that we can't change. Some sentences cannot be converted to passive voice. Sentences containing intransitive verbs cannot be converted to passive voice. For example, the lion roared, the glass cracked. These sentences we can't change into passive voice. Since these sentences do not contain any object, they cannot be converted to the passive voice. Now next we have when to use and why. Now we'll study when to use the active and passive voice and why. The active voice is used when the sentences need to be kept short and simple. When the sentences are need to be kept short and simple, we need to use active voice. The focus is on the object. In the active voice, the whole focus is on the subject. Next, we have the passive voice is used when the the subject is unknown or irrelevant. So, when to use passive voice when the subject is unknown or irrelevant. Next point, the subject is obvious. Third, the focus is on the verb or object rather than the subject. The focus is on the object rather than the subject. Okay. Next, the passive voice should be generally avoided. Now we'll see passive voice when to avoid. When writing news articles, and stories, we need to avoid passive voice. When the subject of the sentence is more important than the subject, we need to avoid passive voice. When there is need to a direct relationship between the subject and the verb, we need to avoid passive voice. So we are done with our today's topic, active and passive voice. I hope you have understood and you can go through once again what is actually active and passive voice. It's easy and it's the easiest part in the grammar as well. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.